there, welcome to the Second Chance Garden. Here we have something special that I wanted to share with you. This is in a little mini greenhouse container thing that I came up with. It works really well. I've talked a lot about using cupcake containers, and here it is. And as you might be able to read, on top of this container it says Crumbs Bake Shop, and they have the best containers. I know it's a little messed up for me to say they have the best containers, not cupcakes. I think their cupcakes are great, but I don't have sweet tooth, unfortunately. I'm not by any means a big fan of cupcakes or cakes for that matter. So I'm purely after their containers. And the reason why that I like it is because of the height that this container has. There's a tray part at the bottom, and the lid is really deep. That's what I really like about it. So I don't know if you're aware, but when I heard that Crumbs Bake Shop went out of business last year, I was totally bummed. I thought, well, I don't know where else I can get this type of containers. But anyway, I heard that it's back in business. So I haven't been able to visit any of their new locations since they came back, but I sure will in the near future, of course, for their containers. But anyway, that's not what's important. What's important is what's inside of this container. So let me just lift this lid up and show you what I have. Here we go. So here we have Peperomia Prostrata. Again, I may not be pronouncing it properly, but I will put the name of the plant on the screen for you so you can look it up if you happen to like this plant as much as I do. So again, it's Peperomia Prostrata. First time when I saw this plant, I was at Union Square Market. It's an open market where you can buy vegetables and fruits and plants and all sorts of things. It's a fun place to be, especially during the summertime, not so much during the winter time. But anyway, it was in this type of very, very small pot. This is about maybe 2-inch or 1.5-inch pot, very, very tiny. There were about 4 strings hanging out, sort of, not in very good shape, but I actually really liked the way that they looked. Unfortunately though, it was really confusing because it was placed right next to a bunch of succulents. So somehow I assumed that this is one of those succulent plants. So after I took it home, I didn't really water it. I figured if it was a succulent, then I shouldn't really overwater. But in this case, I was completely wrong. It started to dry up quite a bit. So I immediately looked it up online. I didn't even know where to start. I had no name for it. I was really trying, using the keyword like string of pearls, and just because this one looks kind of like string of pearls. And finally, I found it online and realized that this plant loves moisture. Not so much direct sunlight, which is good news for indoor growers, I'm sure, just because not everybody has direct southern facing window access. So this one just do fine with just a bright room. It doesn't have to have any direct sunlight on them. And it does very well as long as you keep some level of moisture, and you don't want the soil to be completely soggy, drip and wet, but you want it to keep the soil moist. And most importantly, you have this lid where you can keep air moisture high, and they absolutely love that. Let me just get close in to one of those plants, maybe the left hand side one, just to show you how beautiful this plant is. All right, here we go. They almost look like a very glossy split peas, don't they? And if you get even closer, see if I can zoom in and focus at the same time, which is a bit tricky with what I have. Oh, maybe not. Here we go. I don't know if you can see. there's a little pattern, like a vein, like lines on each of them. Let's see if I can do it this way. I don't know if you can see this. Oops. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but anyway, they're like a tiny jewels to me, and I love the way they look. And I realized that this might be the best plant to use for terrarium. I don't have one, but if you do and you need ground covering plants, I think this would be very suitable. I firmly believe that this would make the best ground cover. Their root system is really shallow. They do not root deep, so that's another reason why it would be perfect for any terrariums. So if anybody who has this plant and using it for terrarium, I would love to see the picture of it. Eventually, even though this plastic container system is working to multiply this plant, I would very much love to put them in a little more fancier, you know, a bit more stylish, maybe in a glass container. I've been shopping around for that, but I haven't been able to find the one that I really like. So I will have to continue shopping and see if I can find anything that would be suitable for it. I definitely wanted to have a lid on any container that I will find to place them in. And it's been a bit of a challenge. I even tried jewelry boxes, but either they're too big or they're just too ornate. I'm looking for something really simple. So again, if you happen to know a container like that, a little fancier than this plastic system, then please let me know. I would love to get one as soon as possible. I just feel a little bit bad that I can't really show off these plants and in this kind of sad, a little old plastic container. Anyway, speaking of shallow roots, I realized that maybe, you know, I will make some more cuttings, because it's just so easy to make cuttings off of these plants. They just take off. You don't really need to do anything, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So here we have a bigger version of another cupcake container. I'm sure you're sick of hearing this already, but it works, so what can I say? Okay, so this time around I didn't place smaller shot cups inside like I do for other things. I put soil media directly into where cupcakes would sit. So obviously there are no drainage. I just need to be careful with this, but this plant loves moisture anyway, so I'm okay without having any drainage at the bottom. And as you can see, I took some cuttings and all I did was to wet the soil a little bit, moisten them, and I placed the cuttings on top of my soil media. That's it. I didn't dig a hole or anything. You just have to, all you have to do is to just place them on top of soil, and they will start developing roots. And this has been working for me, and this is another, well, this format in the container is something new, but they're doing fine. If they aren't, you will start to see them turning brown and rot away. That did happen to me a couple of times just because I overwatered it or something like that, or it was just too humid and too hot. For now, as far as I can see, these are doing quite well. They're still in green and they're even growing actually. This one right here was half of the length when I placed it, so I know that this grew a little and it's perfect. Now, after I know for the fact that these are rooted, I may take the whole thing out and place them in different pots. I haven't really decided on that, but I wanted to share this with you today since I really love this plant. If you know, or if you have this plant and you're growing well, I would love to see some photos of it. And you know, Any comments or questions that you have, please post it for this video. Okay, thank you for watching.